Hi, I'm Elizabeth Vasquez, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of We Connect International. And We Connect International is a global nonprofit. It's incorporated in the US, but our mission is to help the women-owned businesses that we serve right now in 135 countries. They can register for free, and the reason they register is because they want to sell to our community, and our community includes many of the biggest corporations and governments and multilaterals in the world. All of them are looking for women-owned businesses offering solutions to their problems. And so they have a commitment to gender inclusive sourcing, and they're looking for competitive suppliers. And we happen to be working with just an incredible community of both registered, and we also certify in over 60 countries that the business is at least 51% owned, managed, and controlled by one or more women. And those are really the businesses that our members who have over $4 trillion in annual purchasing power. Those are the growth-oriented types of businesses that they're looking to source more from. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I was very fortunate to get to work very closely with the admissions administration, part of the Fletcher School admissions office. And I ultimately helped them interview potential students to come to the Fletcher School. And I finally asked them, I'm like, why did why did you select me? Like, how do you select these other students? Like, how do I know they have the right stuff to get into this program? And so they just sort of walked me through all the different things that they look for. And part of it is your character and your commitment to public service, because international affairs really demands people who care about the communities that they serve, and that they're willing to dedicate their life to that. And so that really gave me great comfort that it's less about, did you get straight A's? Do you come from the right family or the right city or the right undergraduate program? It's more about, like, do you hold the values of the international affairs community? And that for me, I knew, and I know that that's just part of my DNA. It's who I am. And so then it all made a lot more sense. And so I think all of us have to just appreciate that because we're different, that's actually what we need to build inclusive economic growth, inclusive, economic opportunity or social opportunity. You need people of different backgrounds and different experiences and different voices to build a strong, interconnected world where everyone has an equal opportunity to give their gifts. So what I loved about studying public policy is that really the degree was political science. And that was because at the time I thought I was pre-law. So I thought that's how I could change the world. And then I realized how long it takes to move a case through the system. And then I basically had a crisis in my fourth year of undergrad. And I had the good fortune to have a couple of teachers who from different colleges within the university apply on my behalf, recommended me for this Woodrow Wilson Fellowship to study both public policy and international relations. And so I felt obligated to fill out the actual application. And I was so grateful that I did, because I then went into a summer program. I was a senior, but I humored them, they humored me. I agreed to spend another year at ASU. Unfortunately or fortunately, that wasn't that unusual at the time at ASU. So I was able to study both at the Heinz School, and realize that really my passion was more at an international level, and the opportunities for me were more at an international level, and understanding international affairs, the role of inclusive trade, the role of women in building international relations. And so that's how I ended up picking one over the other when I was exposed to both at the same time. Nothing about what I do today was planned. There was no strategy or classes that I took that would have helped me prepare for exactly what I'm doing today. I kept being presented with different roads and different paths, and I tended to take the ones that were kind of crazy and where I didn't have any real experience. And so I would really encourage people to take the path less taken, and to challenge yourself and not to do stuff that you're super comfortable with. Um, but really commit to having a life of learning, and of challenging yourself, and challenging the world that we know, because it needs to change. It needs to be better. And I know that that's why people get into this space usually, is because they know that it could be better. And so I would just encourage people to be confident that if you always look to link what you love, what you're passionate about, with what the world needs, like you have to offer value. So if you can find a way to link those two things, you will always be successful. I think it's so hard when you come out of school to focus on only what you're passionate about, because you have to pay your bills. And I see a lot of students preparing themselves to go into the market where they could get the most compensation. That's not always true for international relations folks. Like, I think they are really purpose driven and looking for impact. And I think that's especially true of the younger generations that are coming out of these schools. They simply generally won't go into an organization if it doesn't have purpose and it doesn't have impact. And so they are built to look for that multiplier effect. But I think they shouldn't always settle for who offers the most money. They really should be looking at who gives the best life experience, and the opportunity to pay it forward. And so I think, again, if they just are constantly looking at what are they passionate about and where can they add value, but then you couple that with trying some new experiences of areas where you don't know anything, and so you take on an opportunity to truly learn, while contributing, and if you have that combination, and you're not setting yourself up to be, I am going to be this and nothing's going to stop me. That's not a bad thing if you're super clear on what you're doing. But I know for me, I had no idea what I was going to be doing. I just knew I wanted to do something that would be purposeful and have a positive impact and to be global at scale. But I didn't know what exactly that looked like, and so being comfortable with the unknown, um, to me, is really really important.